Hey everybody, it's PopReview. I'm Alex.
I'm Sean.
And today we're doing a review on Men in Black International. Okay, so, yeah, Men in Black.
Yeah, Men in Black.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're getting a lot of movies this year. It's like, oh, do we want this?
Was anybody asking for it?
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, but, you know, it's the franchise. You know, you just gotta keep rolling forward if you got a franchise.
Yeah, Sony is really just like,
yeah,
we got it, we should use it. So, I mean, I love the first Men in Black, second one was okay. Actually, never saw the third one.
Third one's good.
So I've heard,
Good.
but
yeah.
I just slipped under my radar.
Tugs on the heartstrings. It really does.
But the good thing about it is I didn't have to see that to get this. So this is kind of like what the industry might call a soft reboot. So the fact that it still takes place in that universe, but they're kind of going in a new direction. Yeah. So, initial thoughts of Men in Black International.
I had a good time watching it. I don't know. I came out of the theater being like, oh, okay, that was fun. On with my life. This is my response. Yeah. And you?
Well, I was bored. It was just like so cookie cutter. It was like the same Men in Black formula from the first two are in this one. It's so like they didn't break new ground at all.
Yeah, they really didn't give us anything new.
No.
I mean, you know.
And that's unfortunately what I was like. If you're gonna do a soft reboot or whatever, do something different.
Yeah, you got to introduce some kind of game-changing element, Like obviously they're trying to do with international. But it just takes place elsewhere.
Yeah,
it's just kind of like
like why don't I understand what the premise of Men in Black are. Obviously, there's aliens among us, and they're in disguise, and they're trying to protect the world from threats we don't know about. I get that, but why haven't we seen the Men in Black go to other planets? Yeah. And defend us, represent us in another planet and protect us that way.
That would have made much more sense for a soft reboot.
Yeah.
You know,
do something complete. Start off on Earth, and then let the adventure take them off world. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Something like that would have been a lot more interesting, especially considering you got Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson in this, which the reason they're together is because of Thor Ragnarok. Let's be honest.
They've been in space together before.
Exactly. So why wouldn't there are easy jokes you can make to that point as well. Just like they had the little hammer joke, you can make jokes about them being in space, and then that just to me is a lot more interesting because now maybe they have to be in disguise now to disguise themselves as aliens and not come across as humans. That's a lot more interesting to me.
I think it would be really funny if they came to a planet and it's all aliens, but when humans come, they have to hide it. You know, sort of the reverse.
Oh yeah, that to me that's a lot more interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a whatever movie. I don't know. What should we start talking about?
Well, let's just talk about Tessa Thompson. I love her. I mean, I was not bored watching her. Her performance is great. It's just that I just don't feel like her character broke any new ground. She's pretty much the female Will Smith from the first one. You know, the new recruit, has to prove herself, yada, 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 yada. Been there, done that, who cares? Yeah. But just the idea of her character kind of wanting to find them, even as she was a little girl, knowing that they exist, but no one believed her, and having to prove herself. Mm-hmm. It's like, I've seen it before, but it just, she did a good job with the material she had. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of had a little bit of a problem with the way they wrote her character. There wasn't a lot of depth there. And
not really.
I didn't really buy any, the connection that she had. I mean, obviously, as actors and as friends, they've worked together before, but her character in that film, I was kind of just it's like a forced love, I don't know what it was. It didn't work for me.
It's kind of weird because, we saw in Thor Ragnarok, they have amazing chemistry together. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And obviously that's the reason why they're both in this, but for some reason, it wasn't there. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, it was because of the material or how they were directed or what it was, but that it just felt like they were all right, you guys should work.
Yeah.
But it didn't work. It didn't work the same way.
No.
I might feel differently if I never saw Thor Ragnarok about their chemistry, but considering I've seen that, and that's kind of what I was expecting. Like, all right, like once I heard that it was them, I was like, all right, we're in for a good time, at least just with them.
Yeah.
But with that, it really just felt forced, and it felt forced on both sides, from him and from her.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to account from that for. I don't know if it was the writing or.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it wasn't there.
Yeah, and and that's supposed to be like her whole arc, I think, which is kind of a weak arc, but it's learning that you don't have to be such a loner. Like, you can maybe have a connection with someone else and make a friend. Because, she says at the beginning of the movie, I don't really have anything that I wouldn't mind leaving behind.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, where are your parents? Like, like, there are just questions about that choice. So I'm like, okay, this is what we're going with. So I'm following that arc through. I'm like, oh, she's the loner. And then it's like, oh, I kind of made a friend in you. And, like, but it didn't feel really cathartic because of the chemistry. Like, I didn't buy their, like, friendship, really. So her whole arc fell apart for me. The whole point of what it is that she needed to learn, which was, you can open up and trust somebody or whatever it was. No. Didn't work.
No, it fell flat. It fell flat.
And then on his front as well, like, I guess his whole journey is he's, the guy with potential and the talent, but doesn't really apply himself, and he's kind of just like wishy-washy, like, whatever, I do what I want, and then I guess he has to learn that, he needs to be a leader, but also that kind of I didn't care about either.
No.
They didn't really.
I mean, I thought it was building towards something a lot more powerful, in the sense that he obviously they had that interaction at the beginning, and it kind of built his legacy that way, but it was kind of built off a lie, and I thought they were gonna try to, like, maybe he got neuralized because he did something bad.
Right, that would have been more interesting.
And he just wanted him to forget about it.
Yeah.
But his subconscious just kind of, like, it's like,
yeah.
Like, I shouldn't be getting all this praise, just never feeling good about it. But it never really amounted to anything, really.
No, and also, of course, they're trying to do this whole, like, with Liam Neeson, it's like, oh, like a father figure.
Yeah.
But they didn't build that because also he wasn't really himself for the whole movie. So, so the only time we ever got to see them really interact was the very beginning. And that wasn't a long enough time for me to care about their relationship and care that Liam Neeson's the alien bad guy all along, because they tried to play with that moment at the end where it's like, you're still in there somewhere, and it's like, I don't care, I don't know this guy. Who's this guy? Like, I haven't seen you really interact together in a way that makes me feel like that's connection should be meaningful. So I feel like it's just, they got really sloppy with what should be at the, I get it, aliens, action, whatever, but what should be at the heart of the movie, which was at the heart of the first one and the third one, which is the relationship between the characters and what the characters have to learn and what they have to go through. And I think they've just forgot about that in the interest of more aliens and more action and some humor.
Yeah, but what Hollywood keeps forgetting is that you can have all the action you want. If there's no meaning behind it or during it, it doesn't mean, it's just stuff happening on the screen, and you're just waiting for something meaningful to happen. If you don't care about the characters or what they're doing, the action means nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it could be the best action scene in the world. The CGI could look great, the choreography could be amazing, but if you don't care about the characters or what they're doing, it doesn't mean anything. And the fact that I literally was just bored just sitting there watching, because I didn't care about the story, I didn't care about the chemistry between M and H. I didn't care. Like, it didn't work. H just felt like there was more to the movie was making it seem like there was more to him than we were getting. Yeah. And then nope, there wasn't.
Yeah. I thought there was going to be some much bigger secret, much darker, deeper thing that he was struggling with.
I thought the twist was going to be about him, not about Liam Hemsworth. I'm sorry, about Liam Neeson. I thought it was going to be about him, and that would have made. I would have been like, oh yeah. That makes more sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. But it didn't do that.
Because they kept doing this whole thing like, oh, you've changed. You're not the same. And I'm like, oh, what happened to him? But I guess he just got neuralized, and that was I didn't understand.
Like, I thought they were like teasing something.
You've changed. I'm like, oh, he's the alien.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was gonna be like, I don't know.
Like he got body switched. Yeah. Like the real H is like off world somewhere.
Well, because they did establish these aliens that can shift. You know, into and look like a human. So I was wondering if they didn't really play with that at all.
Not enough.
They didn't really do it at all. Like the only time they did it was so that they could have those two dancers, I guess, in the movie. Yeah, but like, why did we even need?
But you showed us that in the trailer, so you didn't even really do anything in the movie with it, really.
Yeah. Well, like, what was the point outside of like that would have been crazy to see them infiltrate Men in Black in that way, and all of a sudden everyone in Men in Black walking around except for our two main characters is an alien. Like that would have been like raise the stakes. You know what I mean? Like do something crazy and use the magic that you have. You know, they introduced this idea, oh yeah, we can shapeshift and look like anybody, and then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and
I don't even know why they had to do that anyway.
No, and plus the threat was like, really, what?
Yeah.
I don't get what you like. There wasn't threatening enough.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
And I like you could say that about, well, I only can speak for the first two movies. The threat isn't always as bad as they make it sound like in the movie, but in this one it just really felt like, it's not that big of a deal.
I mean, they also introduced this like the most powerful weapon in the world, and that kind of I feel like there should have been more weight put on the fact that there's a responsibility surrounding that, and I guess it was kind of the MacGuffin because it was sort of like what the aliens were looking for and needed in order to destroy them, but it's kind of a cool thing. I wish they would have maybe played with that a little bit more.
Done something with it, really. I mean, it's like, oh, there it is. They kind of use it, and then
it's a total MacGuffin. But you know, if you don't care about the characters either, then what do you care? What do you care? I don't care.
I was literally just like this the entire time. Just like
I mean, I enjoyed some of the...
I didn't hate it.
You know, just like empty action moments.
Yeah.
And, like, that was fine. That's why I was like, oh, okay. You know, that was a movie. That was a thing.
But
yeah, there was no substance.
But I've seen it. Like, I saw that in Men in Black 1 and 2. I saw that.
That's true.
I am a little bit curious to see 3, but I don't think that's definitely not going to change my opinion on this movie. But I just was like, I've seen this already.
Yeah.
Do something, like... do something different, and I don't know. And you have your opportunity here, and I don't know if they're gonna get another one because the movie's not doing very well. So,
so if they were going to just do the same thing as in the first one, I wish that they would have just done the whole thing where, you know, it erases your life when you become part of Men in Black.
Yeah.
So like, I wish they would have played with that. Could have been like some heartbreak there, like with her parents maybe, or. Maybe she had a boyfriend that she had to leave behind, or a sister, or like, and then maybe making the choice because this is all she's ever wanted. Maybe she's struggling with the idea, like maybe this isn't what I want.
Like something is tugging at her, like, hey,
exactly.
if you go through with this, like all this, you can't go back there.
Exactly, like that would have been a much more interesting way to play her character, and obviously they touch on those themes in the original one.
Yeah, with Kay.
Yeah, where he's like looking at his wife, and it's like a really heartbreaking moment, and I think they missed an opportunity where they could have really taken that a lot further with this one. Yeah,
I mean, that would be interesting, but like it's kind of repeating a little bit from part one. But
still, it worked.
No, it totally worked.
And if they're gonna just make the same movie, then at least do it right. You know, like at least put the good stuff in there.
I totally agree. For me, I was just looking forward to something different.
Yeah.
And just didn't get it. And not only we didn't get anything new, we got a lesser version of what we originally had. So it's like, I don't know what you made this movie for then. Yeah. I know like someone just like, oh, we need a franchise. What worked before? Oh, Men in Black? Yeah, let's do that. I mean, I remember when those crazy rumors were going about that they would do a Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover. And I'm glad that didn't, like, that would have made no sense. So when I heard this was coming out, I was like, all right, okay. And then when I heard the leads, yeah. But it's just like Men in Black, like the facility gets infiltrated. It's like we've all seen that already, man. It's in lockdown. We've seen that already. Like do something different. Like, they have to go to a famous landmark. We've seen that already. Like, everything they did in this movie, we've basically seen it already. Like, like the car thing, you could do something different with the car. Like, it's the same joke. Oh, hit the red button. We all know we already know what that joke is. Do something different with it. Play with our expectations. Hit the red button and have nothing happen, or have something completely different happen.
It makes French fries for you.
Yeah, or something. Like, and with the little, like, come on, like, you're just recycling all these old things. We've already seen it already. Been there, done that.
I don't like when she disses the noisy cricket.
Yeah, but
noisy cricket get wicked on you.
But again, we've seen that joke already, because Will Smith dismissed it already at the beginning too, and then he realized, oh my god, this thing is really powerful. So it's like, been there, done that. Do something. Yeah, I
was like,
different.
Tessa, amateur hour. I was like, that's a powerful little gun there.
Yeah.
Don't knock it. Don't knock it till you try it. Don't judge a gun by its size.
She did. And
one thing I was disappointed in is the lack of aliens. Like, what was fun about the original was like playing with all these different aliens and these different voices and different things that they can do, and I just kind of felt like they didn't use that in a way that could have been more fun. Yeah. Because
like in the first two, there was always ways of like just saying how interesting, like, you wouldn't expect that's an alien. Like, the guy had his beard.
Yeah.
And that's an alien.
That was fun.
Like, that's clever, but there should be more of that.
Yeah.
And the fact that, again, they didn't play off of that, which would have been great, but they again, a wasted opportunity for them to do more interesting things of their own instead of rehashing old things.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's this whole hidden world, like there's a shop owner who's an alien and he opens up the back and that's where all the weapons are. Obviously we've seen that before, but take that idea and run with it. That would have been much more fun.
Or like maybe he's a shop owner and then he opens up the back and it's a dimension or a portal to another world that has a whole bunch of guns or whatever they need. Like, again, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but the idea is just that I literally was bored out of my mind. Like, when I'm doing this in the theater, you know it's bad. You know it's bad. Like how much longer do I have till I get out of here? Yeah. And I was doing this a lot. I was like, oh, is it almost over?
Well,
is it almost over?
Well, the scene where Chris Hemsworth has sex with an alien is sort of like, well, I guess this is what we're in for.
Yeah, but it's like that. You could have made a little bit more. Like, they kind of made a joke, like almost like, oh, I gotta do the Coyote Ugly thing where, on my arm and whatever. But like, and the Walk of Shame. But you could. That's some jokes you could have had. How good they would have been, I don't know. But the idea, like, you could do a silhouette of them and him making some off-color joke or something. Like, there was just an opportunity that just was wasted. Like, what was the point? Like, he's like, you can have anything you want.
Outside of the fact that it establishes that he is okay with having sex with aliens. Because his ex-girlfriend's an alien.
And the fact that he's still in good shape. It's like that scene was just like, alright, his shirt is off.
Oh, that probably was the purpose.
I guess.
It's like, well, we need a shirtless shot. How do we do this?
Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's have sex with an alien.
Weird stuff, like, that I didn't quite... I was like, why?
And not even for a really good reason, just for a reason because, you want him to have sex with an alien and get his shirt off.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, well... I don't know. What else? I think we touched on everything.
Liam Neeson was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emma Thompson was...
Not really in
She was
the movie
barely
much,
there.
But yeah.
Like, she kind of bookended it, really.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's really not anything else worth mentioning, really. I mean...
I liked Pawnee, the little alien guy.
He was okay. He was kind
of cute.
He was alright.
He had some cute moments. I liked him.
Alright, well, before we give a score, let's assume, and this is a big assumption, that they get another movie.
Okay.
In this, they don't reboot it, they continue on. Maybe with them, or they do another soft reboot or whatever, but not a full reboot.
Okay.
What would you like to see them do? What would you like to see this franchise go?
Sort of like we were talking about before. Like, show us other worlds. Like, we've been on Earth this whole time for this whole franchise, and you know, you can't just talk about aliens and the planets that they're from and not show us the planets. So I think that would have to be the next step in order to keep people interested and do something new. Also, just in terms of character, like I said, I mean, if they want to stick with these characters, you know, it could be fun to watch Tessa Thompson like really start to regret maybe being part of the Men in Black. Like do something interesting with her character and what it is that she wants and needs. So yeah, those are really the two big things that I would say. Just go somewhere else, off-world, and explore there. Maybe do the reverse Men in Black thing, where the humans have to go into hiding. Yeah. That'll be kind of interesting. So
I mean, for me, I want to see something where, like, you can still keep the elements of this movie and the first one, where you get a new recruit trying to be broken in, but they're being broken in on the new MIB headquarters on another planet. Mm-hmm. Like, we have to, you can have it where, like, they have a galaxy, like, the Men in Black have to protect another planet, so they have to open up a branch there, so they're sending humans and new recruits there to head that branch, and then you can have Men in Black there. And then you can still kind of you can still have the exact same thing, new person, not have to prove themselves, yada, 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 the established person, yada, 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 but it just takes place on a different planet. You can do the exact same thing, and you can have a lot more fun with it. Mm-hmm. Because then you can literally, like, we've seen all the aliens hiding in plain sight. Now let's just see them out and about. And I also like what you're saying is maybe the humans have to pretend they're aliens just so that they can blend in and have that dynamic and flip it on its head a little bit. So you can have the best of both worlds. Mm-hmm. You can do something completely different, but then you can still have the elements that we have grown to know and love about the franchise, and that's what I was looking for in this movie. Right. And we didn't get it.
Right. Well, you know, the third one actually it plays with time travel. It's a time travel movie. That it's sort of like you can't introduce that into the world and then you know maybe it's just like a step back to go from like this crazy time travel alien movie to what we got. Yeah. So you know maybe they could introduce something like that or. What I really like about the first one is this mystery element. You know, Orion's belt. Yeah. You know, or Orion. Yeah, like the universe is on Orion's belt or whatever. And they're trying to figure out what that means. Yeah. And then it's not really revealed till the end that literally the cat's name is Orion and the universe. Like that's like it's like wait what? Like like that was fun and really. A fun thing to explore and play with our expectations because nothing's what it seems. No. But I feel like they kind of revealed that there was this super weapon a little too early. You know, I wish we were doing more more mysterious happenings to figure out what it was that this thing actually did, and then maybe right when she needs it at the end, it reveals itself to be this weapon or something. It just kind of was like, oh.
It could be more clever, and the fact that. Speaking of the first one, the way that they tease that little world inside the locker, I'm like, I want to go in there. Yeah. Like, I want to see that. Yeah. And we still haven't seen anything like that. They keep teasing us about other things. Yeah. Like, there's more out there. Show us more! More! I want to see more. Like you keep, you were saying before, you keep talking about these planets and these different aliens and how... But we only get teased of them. Mm-hmm. We only see one or two of them, and then the jokes about like other people, humans being aliens. It's like, all right, you've done that already too. Like Drake's an alien. Okay, fine, whatever. But I don't know. We're running around in circles now. Yeah. All right. Score out of 10. Deneuralizers. How many deneuralizers would you give it?
Neuralizers.
Oh, neuralizers.
I would say 5. It I wasn't like as actively bored as you were. I was still kind of watching and like seeing what's gonna go on, but yeah, it wasn't a great movie and definitely disappointing for a Men in Black movie because there's so much potential with those. You know, it's such a unique, and there aren't that many unique stories like that out there anymore. That I don't know. So yeah, 5. 4.
Only because my expectations were, and maybe this is on me, that we were going to get something, a completely different adventure. And that's in my own head, because watching the trailers, it doesn't really kind of tease that. Mm-hmm. But it was just my expectation that they were going to go in a different direction. Mm-hmm. and that international thing was actually going to be more like we think international just overseas. I thought Men in Black International is just going to be them going somewhere else. So maybe again, that's me putting expectations that the movie didn't necessarily give me. But so maybe that's on me. But the fact that none of that happened, I was literally sitting there watching the time on my watch, and I got bored, and I got to give it a 4. I'm sorry, I mean, the franchise is good. If they came out with another one, I still would want to go see it because the potential there is so rich and there's so much to mine there that it's a franchise that I think would get me regardless of how bad the entries are, because the potential of getting it right you can happen at any point, and then they can strike gold at any point. So, I have to give it a 4. And
Little Alien just came
out. I don't wish that I forgot that I seen it, but I don't think I'm gonna be revisiting it at any time. I will try to watch Men in Black 3 just to say that I've seen them all, but this one, no.
Yeah.
And that's sad to say because I love Chris Hemsworth and I love Tessa Thompson, so.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe you guys have a different take on it, or maybe you agree that it was boring and they really missed a lot of opportunities. So be sure to let us know in the comments below what you think about Men in Black International. Were you satisfied with the amount of aliens? What did you think about the chemistry between our two main characters? Is there anything else that you wanted to see that you didn't get to see? So yeah, let's start the conversation below. And before you do that, be sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell so that you get notified whenever we release a new video. So yeah, I guess until next time, I'm Alex.
I'm Sean.
Bye.
Bye guys.